I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men. In the 21st century, the robot will take the place which slave labor occupied in ancient civilization. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. Every living being is an engine geared toward the wheelwork of the universe. Though seemingly affected only by its immediate surroundings, the sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance. The spread of civilization may be likened to a fire. First, a feeble spark. Next, a flickering flame. Then a mighty blaze, ever increasing in speed and power. The year 2100 will see eugenics universally established. In past ages, the law governing the survival of the fittest roughly weeded out the less desirable strains. Then man's new sense of pity began to interfere with the ruthless workings of nature. As a result, we continue to keep alive and to breed the unfit. It seems that I have always been ahead of my time. I had to wait 19 years before Niagara was harnessed by my system. 15 years before the basic inventions for wireless, which I gave the world in 1893, were applied universally. There is no memory or retentive faculty based on lasting impression. What we designate as memory is but increased responsiveness to repeated stimuli. In a time not distant, it will be possible to flash any image formed in thought on a screen and render it visible at any place desired. The perfection of this means of reading thought will create a revolution for the better in all of our social relations. If we want to reduce poverty and misery, if we want to give to every deserving individual what is needed for a safe existence of an intelligent being, we want to provide more machinery, more power. Power is our mainstay, the primary source of our many-sided energies. The harness of waterfalls is the most economical method known for drawing energy from the sun. The universal utilization of water power and its long-distance transmission will supply every household with cheap power and will dispense with the necessity of burning fuel. The history of science shows that theories are perishable. With every new truth that is revealed, we get a better understanding of nature, and our conceptions and views are modified. The trend of opinion among eugenists is that we must make marriage more difficult. Certainly no one who is not a desirable parent should be permitted to produce progeny. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Today, the most civilized countries of the world spend a maximum of their income on war and a minimum on education. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, all the more triumphantly from the struggle. As I review the events of my past life, I realize how subtle are the influences that shape our destinies. It is not in the shallow physical limitation of men that women will assert first their equality and later their superiority, but in the awakening of the intellect of woman. Our first endeavors are purely instinctive, prompting of an imagination vivid and undisciplined. Science is but a perversion of itself, unless it has its ultimate goal, the betterment of humanity. To know each other, we must reach beyond the sphere of our sense perceptions. A new idea must not be judged by its immediate results. Those people always fail who betray their dreams. The rest are doing well in one way or another. Instinct is something that transcends knowledge. These are only new devices for putting the weak at the mercy of the strong. Einstein's relativity work is a magnificent mathematical garb which fascinates, dazzles, and makes people blind to the underlying errors. One's salvation could only be brought about through his own efforts. As in nature, all is ebb and tide, all is wave motion. So it seems that in branches of industry, alternating currents, electric wave motion, will have the sway. The earth is bountiful, and where her bounty fails, nitrogen drawn from the air will refertilize her womb. I developed a process for this in 1900. It was perfected 14 years later under the stress of war by German chemists. Archimedes was my ideal. I admired the work of artists, but to my mind, they were only shadows and semblances. The inventor, I thought, gives to the world creations which are palpable, which live and work. My method is different. I do not rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. The present is theirs. The future for which I really worked is mine. Most certainly some planets are not inhabited, but others are. And among these there must exist life under all conditions and phases of development. I had a veritable mania for finishing whatever I began, which often got me into difficulties. As I uttered these inspiring words, the idea came like a flash of lightning, and in an instant the truth was revealed. The progressive development of man is vitally dependent on invention. It is the most important product of his creative brain.